had an idea of adding a spotlight section at the start of this video, hopefully to engage watchers. So we'll see how it goes on my views. But anyway, what we're talking about in this video today, we're talking about grants again. Yeah, there's a lot on that. We're talking about marketing. We're talking about not giving up, keeping at it. But the main bit is, I thought of a way of improving this business idea to make it ever more profitable. And I'm giving you a bit of insight to that. And hopefully in the next few weeks, I'll give you more information. So please listen in. If you're on a business journey, I think this will be worth it. Hello, good people of social media, predominantly YouTube. But you may see clips of this on my other social media, Facebook, Instagram. I don't know why I'm saying that at the start of the video. That's the end of the video, sort of chat. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name's Ellis. I am documenting my business journey from I just ran up a big hill before I said this. And it's later in the evening, it was about 8:30. So I want to get this run over and done with. So I sprinted up the first hill to start filming this, and I'm struggling already. This is good going. But anyway, I'm documenting my business journey from business rookie, amateur, someone who's never done this before, to hopefully successful business owner. And what I mean by successful business owner is a business that can support me and my family. Also, I want you to ponder this actually. Also to give me a bit of a legacy. Have something that maybe I can even pass down to me kids one day, even though that's a debate about nepotism is that's another video in itself. And also, I'm talking hypothetically as if I've made it in the business world. But I do like to channel the sort of thoughts that I'm going to make it successful. We're on the way at the moment. And you probably could argue that, you know, by the fact I'm even doing this, gives me one step forward or an increased chance of doing well in business. Or maybe I'm just chatting absolute jargon. So, when you've not watched these videos before, I do them out on a run, or in the case of last video, I run out of charge and then I had to do the rest of it at home. But I don't know if it's a good thing for you lot or a bad thing. And then the video ended up becoming 40 minutes long, because normally what stops the video when I'm on these runs is the fact I'm nearly at home. But I felt like it was I was enjoying it, so I just kept on rabbiting on. And I've not actually looked at the figures, see if anybody's watched it all the way through yet. I'm not getting a lot of views on this at the moment, and I fully understand that I've got to keep at it to sort of keep at the algorithm. And plus I also know that this is also a bit of a product in itself, and well, I'm learning how to develop the product. I'm learning how to increase its value to people to ultimately get views. So this is also a process. So I'm not too scared by the fact they ain't got a lot of views at the moment, because of how the hell am I going to learn to make popular content if I don't go out of the way and do it. So here we are, bleating on at you all. So yes, as I said, I do these videos normally when I'm out on a run. I usually run with one of my dogs as well. Today we have Layla. I don't know if you can see her, there she is. We normally work Layla, so she's I'd like to say fully trained gun dog. She's really quite good at it. We're trying to get her ready for trials at the end of this year. But like Ebby was at the start, my golden retriever, she's also is not a big fan of this running malark. She prefers to go out and do lots of training, lots of fetching dummies and etc. So it's all worth getting her motivated. But once you get her going, she's on it. So with these videos, what I do is what I have been doing, I changed it on the last video, is giving a bit of a business update, tell you what's going off, and then I was sort of doing the second half of the video to just talk about stuff that's on my mind in the business world. So I think the last one I did like this, I spoke about business plans. But I've changed the format really, because I actually just want to talk about what's going on for my business. And I felt like I was at risk, with the old method, risk of rabbiting on about something and giving people poor advice that was massively detrimental to, could be detrimental to people's business journeys. So I want to do away with that. I want to talk about what I know, and that's about me. On my business. So the business I've set up is it's a price comparison site, or setting up price comparison site for heating oil. So I live in rural Somerset. A lot of people around here use heating oil, and 1.5 million people use heating oil in the UK, and I want to try and get people's heating bills lowered, but also try to bring it into the 21st century. There is price comparison sites, but I think they could do with a bit of a technological advancement, and that's what I'm here to do, and hopefully make some money at the same time. Even though I like to say, although I need to make money to keep this going, it's not ultimately the main driver. The main driver is I want to try and make people's lives better, put more money in their pockets so they can spend it on things they like doing, or help out, as you find that most people in these communities are on the older generations, just to help out people that might be struggling in winter to just heat their homes. So that's the ultimate driver for it. Now, what's been going on this week, other than Layla nearly tripping me over? Well, last time we spoke about the fact that I realised that me designing a website and building it myself was a little bit beyond my capabilities. And I think we spoke about the fact that my wife sat down with a local a local website designer and product designer, also does branding as well. And she essentially asked for a quote. I was a bit naive in thinking that, well, first I could build it myself, but secondly, the actual price of websites and how much they cost and how much it costs to just keep them managed. Because of ultimately myself, I could have just carried on designing the website and that could have just been my full-time job, which takes me away from other aspects of the business that I really need to get a grip of. So, for example, managing the business, managing its growth, talking about funding, getting grants, getting staff on board. I really need to free myself up. And also, because if it's solely our product, the internet site itself, that needed to be pretty high quality for us to be competitive. Now, we then got a quote, like I said, and we found out that the development and management of a website is actually quite expensive. So this is where I really encourage people to do the research early. But my excuse is that you know, I was going to build the internet site myself from very early on, utilising a program called Replit, which is an AI tool to build internet sites and apps. So I didn't really factor in that I'm going to have to put in the cost of internet site itself. So that's my excuse. But really, we found out quite quickly that the development of an internet site is very, very expensive. You're probably looking, although we can spread the cost out over a monthly basis, it's probably going to cost between 30 to 50 grand minimum. Now, that might be okay, you know, that might be okay if we can get a charging structure that would cover that, you know. So this is when I went back into the profit and loss, went back into the research, and I really tried to dial down with how much oil companies actually get per delivery. Now, this is quite hard work to get, actually, the information on this. You know, the information is not readily available how much a oil company, oil supplier makes per delivery. So we had to do a lot of estimations about how much they make versus, you know, doing some research on how much that business makes, so a typical oil company makes, and how much deliveries they make each year. And actually, the margins per delivery are actually smaller than I first thought. Again, I encourage people to do every aspect of research before they start these businesses, and I definitely feel if I was ever going to do it again, that there'd be a lot more areas, a lot more questions that I would ask. I even thought about maybe at some point setting up some sort of template for help with businesses. They're in the same journey as me. There's maybe a template to make sure that people do ask the questions, do get it right. Definitely put that in a notepad when I get back, because that might be something I can hand out free to help people. But I found out there's a lot of questions that I hadn't answered, and when I got them answered, we started realising that the development costs of an internet site and how much money I need to make to cover the cost of that development, well, the margins are becoming very, very slim. Very, very slim. So put it for an example for you. I'll quickly try and put the figures to you. Typically per order, per delivery, a supplier, depending on how much they're delivering to you, so a typical 500 litre run will make between 20 to 30 pounds. And I needed to really ask for nearly 10 to 15 pounds per order just to cover the cost of my internet site, being a broker. Now, a part of that 20 to 30 pounds that the supplier puts on the order, that includes delivery costs, paying the driver, insurance, basically all their overheads as well. So asking for £15 when they're only making 20 to 30 pounds is quite steep, and would also make me less competitive with other price comparison sites. However, I've also got a way of tackling that. I've been reading a few books this week that I fully recommend, which I'll go into in a minute. So basically, we were doing the year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4 sort of projections, and luckily AI tools like Grok, which I use quite a lot, sped up this process, and I was able to get that to work out average cost per delivery, how much suppliers make, and how much I really need to make to even make a profit. We found out very quickly that pretty much for the first 4 years, if I continued on the pricing model that I've got of a penny per litre, I'd be making a loss. The business would not be viable. And when I say making a loss, even if I took out a business loan, I got some grants to cover the cost of the internet site development, I still won't be making out any money. Which is, like I say, it's not the ultimate reason why I'm doing this, but I still need to keep the lights on. I still need to support my family. It still needs to be a viable product. So, to say on Sunday night that I was defeated, down, ready to throw in the towel, ready to say, yeah, let's go into something else, this product is not viable, would be an understatement. Me and my wife pretty much spent most of Sunday afternoon mulling over ideas, the way we can make it profitable, different pricing options, different ways of doing things. And we found out very quickly that no matter what way we do it, it's just not going to work. So one of the other examples we did was, why don't we just set it up as a club? Set it up as a oil club, so people join, they pay a yearly fee, we basically manage their ordering, so they can group order with villagers. So essentially what happened is we'd bulk buy together, we'd manage the bulk buying of oil to different villages when they need their oil, and ultimately that would drive the cost down. And we come up with that here and thought, oh, that would make us quite a bit of money. We don't have to charge that much, and the internet site doesn't need to be that in depth. Yeah, that's a good idea. And then we googled competitors, and we found out that there is pretty much an oil buying club for every single major village around here. Most of them, in fact all of them, are about free. Some of them are very well established, are very well known, and because it's free, because they can't really charge, especially early on, again, I was going to have to brunt the cost of building the website, and even if we were plugging that into the Grok model of making money, it was it's like the first 2 or 3 years I wasn't going to make any money. I'd need to pay for aggressive advertising campaign, again costing me money. Sorry, nearly tripping over the dog again. She likes to weave under my feet. Aggressive advertising campaigns, and it's something I'm still learning, the social media stuff, still learning the sales sort of life, me and my wife. So fortunately, it just wasn't a viable option. And I think I sat down, normally we go to my mum's, she lives close by, sat down with my son and my wife, and I just was like, yeah, we're not going to make no money on this. Let's, I was even writing up the email to my business mentor in my head. I'm going to word it to him, thanking for his time, but we don't think this business is going to be viable. Ready to shut down my social media, ready to shut down my test site, because I'm calling it my test site, the site I built on Replit, and call it a day. And I think I just needed that hour off, that couple of hours, sat at my tea with my family, talking about other things other than business, moaning about the government instead, and just completely switch off from it. I needed a break because of, like, I keep telling people, almost a bit of an excuse, really. I'm doing this around working full time at the moment because of my business doesn't make any money whatsoever. And my wife, she's on maternity leave, so she's busy with the young one. So pretty much when I come home from work, this is a full-time job. On top of doing social media and running around like this. And when I got into the car, on the way home, a new idea just come to me. A new way I can make this profitable, keeping the costs down, and also I think it's almost a contender for all price comparison sites, not just for heating oil. It just come to me, and it's such an amazing idea, and it's not even going to cost us that much to pilot it and to do it. I think I just needed that break. I think I just needed that 5 minutes, well, a couple of hours, just let my brain reset. Now, you may have noticed I'm being quite, I'm not telling you what it is yet. Yeah, I'm not told you what it is yet anyway, and that's on purpose. I think this idea is that good that I do need to keep it away from social media for at least a few weeks, especially until I've got I speak to the internet creator, the internet site creator, the local one, Reoriginate, the company's called, this week, to talk to him about how much it's going to cost for us to set it up, and some sort of features we're going to need to have on it, and if there's already some off-the-shelf sort of things we can buy before then. So like I said, I definitely want to keep the cards close to the chest on this one, because I think it's a bloody good idea, and also I think it'd be quite easy to imitate. So I want to get in there first with it, because you don't see anybody else is doing it, and I think it might be useful. What I'll do with this, right, is I'll speak to the website designer on Thursday. I think we're pretty much going to go for it, unless he can give us any more pitfalls or criticise it in any way. I need to update my business plan, that's what I need to do. I'll start doing that today, finish that off. But what we'll do is, if he starts building it, if it starts coming online, I do need to research some more components of it, especially what we want to expand into if it works. Once the business is ready to go, I reckon I'd like a grand unveiling. Pretty much like, when they set a new ship off, except because it's a digital business, I ain't got anything to smash a bottle of wine on, so maybe we'll have some sort of digital ribbon to cut. I don't know. I'm definitely going to look into something for it. So, like I said, what's next then? Now, I need to speak to Reoriginate, maybe even look at some other companies as well. I need to update my business plan, because although it's a price comparison site for heating oil, the functions are going to be completely different. I need to get back on the advertising, because I'm now back on the train of I need to get suppliers on board big style. I need to I've got a pricing sort of option, but I need to test the waters with that, because we're probably going to need to ask for a tiny bit more than what I was expecting to ask originally. So how that's going to sit with the one supplier we've got already, Dart Oil, I don't know. Another thing we did actually this week, I don't know if I mentioned it in my last video, is I sent out a survey. This has also helped with this new idea, by the way, and very, very interesting. I'm still getting responses. I had some friends and family help me out. Very, very grateful for that. And I managed to get pretty much straight away about 20 responses. I'm just going to send it out again this weekend, because really I want at least about 100, really. Maybe there's a way I can pay to get this survey pushed out. I never explored that actually. Maybe I can look into that. My mentor advised me to go around knocking on doors. I don't know if I like the thought of that, especially But I've just been, as I set off running, there's one of these charity salesmen in the street trying to upsell some sort of charity membership. And for the doors that have no cold callers or salesmen, he's pretty much getting met with frosty responses. Now my local village will be alright, because I know everybody around there, well, most people. But I don't think that'll go down well with my other villagers. But maybe that's just end time to do it. Maybe just bite the bullet and do it. Then thinking about it, it is a way to get the voice out, just get people to meet me, to show that I'm not some stuffy CEO behind a big branding. Maybe people can just save the effort and watch my videos instead. What else do we need to do this week? So I need to continue looking into grants. We need to continue looking into financing. Although this option is cheaper, it's still going to cost us a bit of money. And any bit little helps. I've got a meeting next week for funding with local council. They ended up cancelling my meeting last week and put me with another department. So see how that goes. And my mentor, good on him, has given me a list of all the grants available in the UK, all these companies that deal with grants. I would send this out as well, but I don't know if that would be cheeky on him, so I'll keep that. No, in fact, what I'll do is anybody that gives me a grant or helps me out with grants, I'll make sure to advertise them. I'll do it that way. So yeah, I need to look at grants and financing this week. My final bit really is my mentor's away at the moment, but I could do some criticism of this company as well with people in my inner circle, this new idea. So maybe I need to seek that out as well. Normally my friends are normally good at that one. Maybe I'll go and speak to them. But yeah, we've got a lot to do. A lot of things to work on. This is absolutely a video to remind people, do not give up. Especially on this business adventure. Do not give up. Keep at it. You know, there's got to be a way to do it. If you feel and believe that you can do it, or you've got a good idea, and everyone's telling you it's a good idea, and you feel there's a gap in the market, don't give up too easy. You know, yeah, I know there's a part where you can go, well, this product isn't viable, let's just give it up. But make sure you tried everything. Tried everything to keep it. Well, when you're in this phase anyway. Maybe not if you spent a lot of money on it, realise it's not working. But while you're on a start-up, try it, explore. You've got time. Get your research done. Yes, that's another bit. Get your research done. I'm going to look at a template to hand out for free for this, because of maybe I could have done with that. It's definitely a lesson learned for me. And trying to think what else. Yeah, just keep at it. It's hard. It's going into the unknown. You know, it's sometimes can feel a bit lonely, but as I've been told by everyone who's got a successful business, most of them will tell you that that it's hard, there's going to be ups and downs, there's going to be some days that are crippling, but it's absolutely worth it in the end. I've definitely taken that on with me. I'm running out of time now in this video actually. Again, I've bleached it on quite a bit, or maybe I've just ran a bit quicker. What I want to speak to next time is about marketing again, and how I plan to market my business. I don't want to cram it in this video because I I think that's a whole video in itself. But here's my tip or tidbit for the next video. Not tip, tidbit. Alex Hormozy, right? I think I may have spoke about him in some of my videos before. Has got a free Spotify. He's got his audio book on Spotify for free. I think it's $100 million deals. Absolutely give that a read. That if you're on a startup, right, you're in the same position as me, or if you've got an established business, I fundamentally really encourage you to read that or listen to it. I've been listening to it this week and this weekend, and it's also changed the way I've been thinking about marketing big style. And I'm going to go into a video about that next time, because I still need to, if anybody's read it before, come up with some grand slam deals for this business. I did that for the previous one, but this has all changed now, so I need to get on it. So yes, give that a read. We'll chat about it next time. But anyway, that's enough of me bleating on. Finish this final bit of run. For those of you watching me, thank you. Any support is much appreciated. Please get into the comments if there's anything you think I should be doing differently, any sort of improvements to suggest. Please get them in the comments, or if anything, just like and subscribe. Set up notifications. Follow me on all over social media, and I'll see you again in the next couple of days.